meeting is being recorded.
I'd like to call to order the Town of Willington Inland Wetland and Watercourses Commission today, April 27th, 2026. The time is now 7:31. All commissioners are present. No seeing of alternatives. So we'll move on to applications to be received. First application is IW 26-3. Request to construct driveway, utilities, and culverts associated with the construction of a single-family home at 0 Ruby Road, map block lot 424600. Owner R. White, applicant E. Peterson. So I'm not sure if there's anyone here to just give a brief explanation of the project. So we'll receive the application.
Yeah, I told Eric that this would just be received. I didn't ask that he attend. So we've had more recently Mark Peterson come before the board. This is his brother Eric from Gardner Peterson.
Okay. So this looks like a very similar project like we've seen before. Does the commission wish to hold a site walk to review the property and the proposed activity?
Do we know exactly where this site is? 0 Ruby Road is just kind of a generic address.
Yes, I feel the same. Where is it exactly?
So if you're on the GIS yourself, you can go by the MBL that's on the agenda, 424600. I can bring it up if you want, or you can.
They give us site locus, figure one.
Do you want me to try to bring it up and share my screen, or do you guys want to look at it yourselves?
Just bring it up on the screen. Be quicker.
Okay.
We just want to know which in the Ruby Road we're talking about.
So it's on the FedEx, towards the FedEx side. Give me one sec.
So it's what, just south of the TA?
Yep.
Oh, is that where they had all the logging going on? When you make that turn? They have like the logging road there?
You should hopefully be seeing my screen in a second.
When you make that big turn? Well, turn, but no, going up to the TA. Oh, when you come down that hill, yeah, gravel.
So do you guys see the screen here? I'm going to try to zoom in on the.
Okay, so it's the large property where that where Ruby Road crosses wetlands. Before you get to Hancock coming from TA. All right.
Yep, same side as Hancock.
It's a pretty big site. Are we only talking a single family home?
Correct.
Okay.
Did you? Yeah, Dave. I think it's just for forestry. How many wetland crossings are they proposing? Is it 2?
I think a site walk is in order.
Yes.
So last time we had this, there was some lead time because they need to be able to make sure that things are staked or flagged correctly so that you know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So before we confirm, I'll need to reach out to them to say that you want to have one and make sure they can get that done in time. So are you okay with corresponding with some dates via email once I can figure out what their lead time is? Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
I know we usually like to try to do it like before a meeting. But I can be fairly flexible.
Before our meeting works for me. That way I'm all.
Okay.
I don't care. I can do anything within reason.
So we'll probably want to schedule this one first. how many wetland crossings are there? There's just the one up in front? Is that it? Just to access the property? Was the one, no, there's two. There's two wetland crossings. There was one up in front and then there's one heading back towards the house. Looks like that's pretty extreme of some sort. Working into that larger wetland complex. Right? Yeah. One here. Yeah. That's right there. Is that an existing roadway?
It's a woods road.
Woods road, okay. So that should be easy travel.
So they're saying the 110 linear feet of stream is impacted. So they are calling that a stream. And it's shown on the.
So it looks like they have wetland right up to the property line at the road.
Mike, do we have any documents in this yet?
Yeah, so I had to shift, if you go to the agenda, on the upper left-hand corner.
Yep.
You should be able to hit them there,
Okay,
other.
that's all I need to know, as long as it's accessible.
All right, so we'll accept the application. Looks like everything's in order. And Mike will get with the applicant to schedule a site walk, preferably before the meeting. Say 5:30.
Mike,
There you can go.
it would be okay for any one of us to independently walk the site? Now that go ahead.
I was gonna say, I would wanna let them know if that was the plan, just so that they expect to have some strange person in vehicle, but I don't see why that would be a problem. I just don't know if anything is flagged yet as far as the crossings for you to be able to see it, but I don't see that as an issue.
So this gives the applicant a month to get, if they need to refresh the flags or get any sort of stakes out of their proposed crossing outlets, inlets, fill.
I mean, I'm vaguely familiar with the property. I was on it maybe decades ago, so I'm sure things have changed dramatically since. So.
Next item on the agenda is inland wetlands application 26-4. Request to construct a 10,000 square foot plus minus truck washing facility and 3,000 square foot plus minus commercial storage building with associated site improvements at 10 Polster Road. Owner JT Properties LLC, applicant L. Mello. Oh, right.
You did.
So I propose that after our site walk at this 0 Ruby Road property, we'll move on to the Polster Road property. I don't think this warrants a public hearing. Based on the fact that there is no direct wetland impacts, everything is in the upland review area. So there you have it. Are they going to be submitting a CGP?
What? CGP.
That's the for their SWIP.
I know there was some additional documentation that they were working on for their P&Z submission. They were just getting ready to button up, but
Construction general permit because it's over an acre of commercial.
Oh. I would imagine so. We haven't talked about that specifically because they've just done the zone change to this point, but something that we could ask them. So I will say that this has been submitted to the town engineer for review, so we will have any of his comments ahead of your May meeting.
Okay.
So he's gonna do a review of all of that. And the only thing that I just will note, since in case anybody watched the recording, so we'll plan to schedule a site visit, but it may be for one reason or another, we can't tee these up at the same time. Because to do it ahead of your meeting might be tricky, not knowing how long one or the other might take.
Sure.
So I don't want everybody else, anybody who reads the minutes to think, oh, okay, they're gonna do them together. We might do them together for the purposes of the minutes, but we might not.
Yeah.
So if the commission wants to do the site visit, obviously we'll schedule an agenda so people will know when that is, and I'll coordinate with you and with their engineer for the same purposes, but just, it may be that we can't do everything on the same evening.
I forget, in the report, did they state that they're within NDDB or not? Three to exit 7B. Well, that's gonna be on the applicant, because if they're,
I don't see an NDD. I don't believe there was an NDDB. Boom. Hold on. Just missed it. There was. It is not. If you look at the page, I think it's page 3 of the wetland report. It is not within a 100-year flood zone and is not within an NDDB. Boom. As of the 2025 map. And they give, on the next page, they give an excerpt so that you can see that it is not. And so just as you're going through this, and for Evan and Ralph, we have printed copies, if you want to stop into the office, you can pick them up. If you're looking quickly, it look like it's the same document, but Ian Cole did 2 things. He did an April 12th document, which is the wetland impact analysis or evaluation, and then a December document, which is the delineation report. So there's 2 different letters in here that look exactly the same. So if you're looking quickly, you'll just know that they're separate.
okay.
So we have 11 buys, and then I also have some full-size copies if you'd like to take a full-size home.
I mean, the overall like impact or the development is only what, 2.5 acres.
Right.
So it's
Not large.
It's very large compared to the entire parcel. So
Right. And so there's 0 wetland disturbance, 0 watercourse disturbance.
Yeah.
Which is on page 1 of their application.
One thing maybe to tee up is looking at some of the recommendations. I'll look at them again, but for like conditions.
Oh. Some of the things that what we might recommend or want to incorporate into a decision, you're saying?
Yeah,
Like for
that the wetland scientist had
Got it.
in there.
Sure.
I'm not so sure we want to do both of them on the same evening prior to a meeting. I think Ruby Road's going to be a lot of hiking.
Yeah.
Well, Ruby Road's already like a woods road, so we're just traveling up the wood road.
Okay.
So, okay. And Ralph, we trust. It's pretty rough.
I drove that once a long time ago. It's not an easy. I mean, they've been traveling it. It's obvious if you look at it, but I don't think it's a smooth kind of road. So, and it's ways back from the road too.
Okay.
Look at that site plan.
No, I'm feeling it.
Mark would know.
Yeah, a little bit. So maybe this one would be nice for like a Saturday or.
Yeah, I will just coordinate on the timing for that, the availability of the engineer to get everything out there marked or get the important stuff marked.
Yep.
And then I'll let you know what we have for timing, and we can see what the commission wants to do. And
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Moving on, moving on. Okay. Next we have the approval of minutes from our February 23rd, 2026 meeting. Looked like we had, one or two timber harvest applications.
One was delayed because the applicant wasn't there.
Right, so that's before us tonight.
Correct. So I make a motion to approve the minutes of February 23rd, 2026.
All second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approved. Well, there's no public hearing tonight. We have no new business. Old business is timber harvest application 26-2, selective timber harvest at 9 Angela Lane, owner Jay Harris, applicant A Harmon. Austin, good evening. How are you?
Evening, everyone. I'm well. How about yourselves?
Doing well, thanks. You want to run us through the operation plan here?
Yeah, so as it may seem familiar, this is not deja vu. We did have a timber harvest on this property for the past owner, I want to say 2 years ago or so now. It was DW Fish Home Builders. The property has since changed hands to Jay Harris, and his objective is to clear and cut some more of the timber, the mature sized timber trees that we left in the original operation. Um, from there, I mean, yeah, from it's I want to say it's roughly 13,000 board feet of saw timber and maybe 14 cores or so of firewood, if I recall correctly off the top of my head. It's been a while since I looked at the operation, but it's the same as last time. The only difference is there's not going to be an abutting harvest on the property adjoining, touching the cul-de-sac on Angela Lane. It's just the property coming in with the main access road itself. Um, as we do know or may remember, there is a conservation easement on part of this property. We are not going to be having any harvesting or activity within the conservation easement area, and I've already communicated and cleared that with Kathy Demers of the Conservation Commission. She said that should be fine as long as we stay out of the conservation easement area, which we are planning to do. Previously used skid trails, previously used log landing, and the previously used access road will all be utilized again. I figure it should take a subcontractor roughly 2 to maybe 3 weeks of good working weather once they get the machine there to have the project started and fully wrapped up. Um, I'm hoping we get to it sometime on probably the summer, depending on our timeline and scheduling, but it shouldn't take too long. Everything else should be all square from there, I believe. Please feel free to let me know what questions or concerns you may have.
Okay, well, when you were talking with the Conservation Commission, is that area have markers on it where you are aware of where that easement is in place?
Correct. Yeah. I previously identified it for the past harvest a year or two ago. There are conservation easement markers as well as signs up, and I've reflagged that area as well. So it's all dignified and said from that portion. I didn't signify that really on this map, but essentially north, if you can see the skid trail north of the landing where it meets the access road.
Yes.
Anything north of there, we're not having any timber harvested. It's just south of that skid trail. So
Okay.
anything north towards Angela Lane, there's no proposed harvest unless it's something minor that's in the way for truck access, but it should be wide open from last time still.
How many trucks do you think are gonna have coming out of there with logs?
We will not have any trailer trucks. The last operation had a few semi trucks going in and out for some of the pine on site. This will be hardwood only, so we'll probably have, I'd imagine, five for the logs and another two, maybe three for firewood. So sub 10 is my estimation.
Okay.
And obviously the trucks to get the machines moved in and out initially and after the harvest, but
Of
that's
course.
separate than the trucking for the logging traffic itself.
Okay, I was not on the commission when this previous harvest was done. If I was, I don't remember it. Um, in looking at GIS and comparing it to the conservation easement, with respect to wetland soils, there seems to be a broader expanse of wetland soils on the GIS, and I'm hoping that that had been field surveyed and the edge of the wetlands is readily identifiable on site.
Correct. Yeah, the surveys have not been like flagged out by a wetland soil scientist, but they are drawn on this map using the survey showing the conservation and easement area rather than the wetland soils layer. The wetland soils layer is a great tool at the end of the day, but as we all know, it can drastically change from in the field versus what it looks like over aerial systems or LiDAR and such. So this map and the wetlands layer and such was made looking at and looking from the conservation easement map from years ago when they originally put it in and when they did have the wetlands flagged originally.
Yeah, I know the subdivision, it would have been flagged for the subdivision, but that was quite some time ago. All right, that was a curious question. I don't really have any concerns about this.
I'll like make a motion to, is there any other further questions of the applicant? On that, I'll make a motion to approve timber harvest application TH 26-2 as presented in the application. Second. So we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have a jurisdictional ruling on.
Thank you, folks. Have a good night.
Thank you. I'll send you.
Good night.
good night.
Next, we have a jurisdictional ruling with application IW 26-2, request for jurisdictional ruling at 9 Angela Lane associated with timber harvest application 26-2. Make a motion to approve this as a jurisdictional ruling. I'll second. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have correspondence, staff report, and discussion, commissioner training.
So, as much as it pains me, there was a bill that was passed that requires now all commission members to go through the training that one member had to have. And they smartly, I guess I will say, worded it so that even if you had gone through the training, you have to go through the training. So everybody, regardless of when they were trained or if they are trained, has to go in the state, has to go through this training in 2026.
Okay.
So it is,
Is lunch provided?
it's online. So it's a
Provided.
it's a self-guided, we can talk about the different ways that you want to do it. There are some towns that have folks that like don't want to do the guided online email thing. And so they're going to like take one account and do it together piece by piece. And
How long is it?
I don't know how, I don't know how long it takes.
Will you
because-
be sending a link to this?
Yeah, the state is,
Rolling it out.
well, my understanding is that the state has shifted over and is now gonna be running it, or is running it through Clear. Because they had done some revisions not all that long ago, but I don't think that anybody assumed that they were going to make. Like, I literally have colleagues that got their certification or went through the process in 24. And now they're being.
Do it again.
Correct. And I think that they intended on having Clear update the modules. And so they thought, okay, we'll have a new system in place, but that's not been done. So you're going to take the same course that's been up for several years. So I'm letting you know that the session, the legislative session is currently going on now through the next week and a half. So I don't think anything will change. It's possible, but I will make you aware and send you, we can talk about how to deal with it. I will say the bill explicitly states that failure of somebody to go through this training will not negate a decision rendered by the board. So we're not in a position where on January 2nd, if something happens or we get a new member or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want this to become a big stressful thing.
Might be something fun to do like as a group so we can discuss maybe or.
Sure, that might make it more interesting.
We can talk about the best way to do that if that's how you want to do it. I can look at the timing and maybe something where we can just kind of take like a module by module scenario or maybe 2 modules at a meeting or something. So just stay tuned.
Okay. There was something else also. I was at the cause conference. It was very good. And there was something new that came out, like a 10-foot, like no touch zone. For like a riparian buffer. Something.
There's legislation that was passed during the last session that looks to establish and examine and potentially create something pertaining to riparian corridor buffering.
Yeah.
On like the zoning side.
Right.
I don't know of anything more specific than that.
It probably won't change the inland wetlands regs.
No,
I
don't think
so
so.
puritanical anything.
It was more along the lines of creating like a standard for the riparian corridor or the riparian buffer, and that would be something that would have to be kind of brought into the land use realm across the board. But I don't know that there's anything definitive. I can't remember if it was to establish a group or to come up with a report or something. So it's a challenge because there are towns that have, and here we have areas of 200-foot upland review.
Yeah.
And then there's towns in the state that don't even have an upland review. But if you're in Bloomfield or Weathersfield and you're 30 feet from a wetland, that's a really long way. Whereas here we think about it like, oh my gosh, you're getting real close. So to establish a standardized riparian corridor, regulation or requirement statewide is really tricky in places that are densely developed.
Right.
So I don't know how that will work, but I don't know much more than that. I've done a lot of rambling, but not a lot of answering your question.
All right, so get ready for some training, guys.
Oh, boy.
Yippee.
Won't shoot the messenger.
You're all good.
That's kind of all I have at the moment. I did, you guys had reached out, or you had requested maybe 2 meetings ago, sort of a follow-up on the applicant for the orchard on Blas.
Oh, yes.
The
American chestnut.
So I didn't catch it because the night after the meeting, the documents that you had requested he sent. Or with the next day or something, so they came right away, and I just didn't look at it when you'd asked the first time. But I did go by. You can see in the back, he does have a portion of the land cleared, but the actual access off of the laws isn't there. So my guess is he must have gotten access maybe through somebody else with the machinery, because there is no big driveway or access. Remember, he said he was going to basically bring it all in and not have to cross multiple times, and they were going to kind of work from there. maybe use like a tractor machine or something. So if you go down Blas, you don't see anything, but if you look way off in the distance, you can see the area he has cleared. So I have an email to him just basically saying, hey, can I have a quick
Did he
update?
walk, or did he walk in there? No, there was a little skid steer there.
There was
Yeah,
tracked.
yes.
So I'm just wondering
Did he
if,
cross? Cause he'd have to cross the fence.
Well, he might have.
no,
he might
he's
have
on-
gone up
he
the
doesn't
other
have to cross the
side.
fence.
No, it's not the fence.
Remember we walked down in there?
Yes, we did, but if you go to, Bissonnet Pond, you can get to Bissonnet Pond from two different
Yeah.
directions. He might have come in from the turnpike side
Yeah,
and come down to his property.
I just don't know if he has frontage there.
I don't know.
But if somebody had an existing access or driveway, because remember there was that existing that went through, he may have just found, given the time of year or wetness, that he, a neighbor let him. So he doesn't have anything cut in off of Blas. So anyways, I just said, I wanted to just check in, but our direction to him was that was it Rick Zulik, I think he was using?
Yes.
Was gonna basically direct him on the place of least disturbance to make that crossing. But there isn't one.
Cause the original application was for that one like large wetland crossing. But then he bought the other property and then they were just gonna timber mat over that because it was more narrow,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we wanted it like a more definitive, like, well, is it better maybe to put your permanent crossing up here?
Right, so if you look at
Than
the,
down here.
from Blas, if you look for like a driveway, or if you look for, there isn't one. And so the access was gonna come off of Blas, was gonna have that crossing and then come up to that high spot, which is where he wanted to actually do the orchard. So I'll connect with him, check in, if I'm on whatever, I can just pop out and.
Because I thought his other access from this side, there was something with the easement going on, or he didn't have access through that way, and he would have to have a stream crossing there as well? Wasn't that right?
Yes, there was some, from the existing subdivision maps, there was some easements and access that he did have that were just as legally just as possible, but would have resulted in a lot more disturbance and probably more infrastructure needed on his end.
I just want to make sure he didn't monster truck through all that.
No, because there's not even trees cut. It's like so I think he must have found another way, or the machine is so small that he was able to literally just go through the woods and didn't actually need to cut it.
Oh,
Because if you go down Blas, there's nothing cut, no road cut in. So I mean, maybe that's good, right?
It was, his skid steer was on, Blas.
And on that side of the road, because there's a timber harvest going on the other
Yeah,
side.
no, it was on that side of the road.
Well, stay tuned. I reached out and just try to see, I don't have access to any, I have an ear map, but the aerials aren't updated for that yet, so I will let you know.
yeah, the new aerial's on near map.
Yeah, it's twice a year, and so we usually don't get them till, usually in April.
Yeah.
I don't have anything for it yet.
Yeah, we're gonna use data near map.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's really nice.
It's nice to have access to it.
Yeah, especially when there's disturbance.
Yeah. That's all I have for you.
All right, next is public comment. That's you, Michael?
No, that is not me. I don't know if that's.
Anyone from the public here to make a comment? Michael, I see a Michael out there. As a guest.
No.
Is it the selectman?
No, it could be a property owner from one of these. I don't know. I don't know who that is, but they don't comment.
Michael, do you wish to comment? Okay. If it's a new prospective commissioner. Just want to see how the meetings go.
Don't hold your breath.
More than welcome. All right, and on that, we have Mr. Drobny's favorite moment.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting. April 27, 2026.
And I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any further discussion?
Have a good night.
Good night, all.
Okay. Take care.